Hello, everybody. How are we all this week?
It's another Thursday.
Yeah, I'm treating it like it's a webinar, aren't I? Where you go, hi guys, we're all alive. But it's not. You just have to wait for people to show up here, don't you?
Yeah, you see my natural background. I couldn't get my my cool background. I was going with the zoo look today. I figured a zoo look would be good. I had a little giraffe over to the side, you know. It just felt like going to the zoo today.
Oh, look, there's Keith. He's about to pull something out.
He's plugging in his audio, it looks like. This is called live, folks. This is live.
I seen his thing pop up, so I put it on as quick as I could. Catch him doing something he don't want to do.
Oh, man.
How are you, mate? Keith, remind me after this to send you a copy of 5.41 for Magic Page plugin. We've just got the final bits of testing, so the export's not working. The export of the existing databases is not ready yet, but the rest is. Who've we got on this week, guys? If some people want to pop some comments or something in the box to let us know who we've got on.
What about Xfield? Is that Xfield working? Xfield.
No, do you know what we figured out? We've figured out a workaround for it, right? With these meta ones you've got, okay, what you do is you create the new meta and then you put them into your Xfields. So you still have to create your Xfields. Well, how many Xfields do you have?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, 50. He has more.
Dear shit.
I have absolutely fucking hundreds.
Oh no. Right, I'll have to keep on his case about it then, because they're telling me it's dead difficult. So we've got loads of people saying hi there. You all right, Tommy? Facebook user, whoever that happens to be. I seen Tommy. This is Tommy from an hour ago. He turned up an hour too early. I did that 20 minutes early, mate. Martin's not going to get here this week. Anyone using Lead Simplify will know there's been an issue, something to do with the server. Him and the guys are working on it. It's running a little bit slow. So I don't know what it is or what the issue is, but I know it's something that's running a little bit slow. So they're all hands on deck at the minute. So he might turn up if they get it fixed, but if they don't, obviously he'll be sat there till it's fixed and working. I've not got much to share this week because I'm working on Magic Page plugin with the import and the export features with the guys. We've been working on a few new products that's going to be coming out very, very soon. But I know Keith's got some questions. If you want to run through them first, then we'll answer any questions. And anybody wants anything or anyone's struggling with anything, pop the comments in the box and we'll run through them as well and do any screen shares that anyone needs. Keith, I'll let you.
Okay, so find the questions. All right, where we at? There we go. So first question. I need basics on how to connect LS with Twilio. Just add API or have to do something else with Twilio account, which looks pretty complex with so many services. Basically, just connect your API, pick a phone number, buy that phone number in Twilio, go back into Lead Simplify and refresh, and it'll pick it up. Job done. You don't need ones with text on, unless you're going to send text, obviously, from within Lead Simplify, but other than that, you don't need them with text on.
You do need text.
Yeah, I'm going to send them from Lead Simplify.
You want to text your leads, don't you? Do you not text and email your leads?
Yeah, but not from. That's from one phone number. You don't need them for all of your sites you're going to be using.
All right, okay.
You only need text for the one site. Well, for the one phone number that you're going to use.
Let me just share this playlist because this is your first time set up. It's all on here. One sec. Yeah. Copy that link. All right, Craig. Craig's on now as well. He'll give me some questions I don't know the answers to because he's cleverer than me. Right, I've shared that link anyway to that playlist. What? Go on, I'll shut my chair squeaking as well. I'll shut up and let you go through any questions that you've had on that form, Keith, before we look at any.
So that was our Twilio one, and the next one is should we be building backlinks to our national and major city sites outside of the 5-tier structure? You guys never really talk about that, so I don't really know what to do. If so, do you recommend any service like OnFiber or Legit? I talk about it a lot. Basically, on all of my sites, I will build citations. I'll build like sort of social properties and things like that. Wait and see what happens then, and then decide whether I need to do anything else with Dynamic Backlink Builder or other stuff. What about you two other guys?
Yeah, I kind of have the take that I do exactly what you're talking about. The natural things that a business would do, such as social media, citations, and things like that. But then closely watch your traffic, because that's the next signal of whether you can start adding other backlinks to something. Because with the way the algorithm is set up, if you add a slew of backlinks with zero traffic and with bounce rates and things like that, it'll end up hurting you more than helping you. So it's a good idea to just make sure that you have congruent traffic and low bounce rates before you start throwing links at it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
If he's following the most recent training course, the hybrid lead generation business model, he says it's specifically for rank and rent. I do on-page section, off-page section, I do a GMB section, and I've just done a video called Why Lead Simplify. But in the video, it also goes through a way to set up your site, your GMB, and then how to validate where you're not, I forgot what the word is, where you run across the internet and they're all the same. Where you're not, you're NAP. I just remember the word. Name, address, and phone number. Yeah. Or you got your name, address, and phone number across the whole of the internet, and it all looks identical.
Your citations.
Yes. Well, I've just gone through just today on a video. Actually, it went up maybe 10 minutes before this, and that goes through that in there on how to actually make sure your NAP's set up perfectly across the whole of the internet, and how to also for free check. In the UK to do it for free. I don't know how to do it in the States, but I think it'll work the same with the Yellow Pages, so that they can set up and they can get all of the citations correct in all of the right locations and all the ones that Yell are checking, because Yell use about 200 of the ones that that Google use. I think Google use about 500 to check whether you're the same across the whole of the internet. So that video that's just gone up, the previous one on my YouTube channel, today, it'll be really handy for that person, whoever asked that question.
That was Terry Palmer. So there's your answer, Terry. The other thing I do, like Daryl was saying about watching the traffic, when I look in Google Analytics and I see there's certain search terms being looked for in certain cities, then basically I'll create a YouTube video for it and stick it on the page.
Yeah.
And obviously you're getting a link back from Google, you're getting traffic from the YouTube video and all sorts of things. So yeah, it's a good little help.
Yep.
Have we got any more questions on your little list?
Yeah, we've got a few. We've got 8. And we've got one which was put on the post below the list instead of being on the list.
Okay.
Next one is.
Don't worry, guys. We'll answer the questions.
Number. Struggling to understand what to be taken care of inside Twilio before buying a number. What is register for sender ID? What options to choose? Voice and SMS, both, etc. It doesn't really matter. Well, if you're going to, as Mike said, if you're going to send SMSs to your lead buyers, then you need a one that can send SMS. If it's for on the site, I use a combination of mobile, I use their national ones and I use local ones. Whether they've got SMS on from my sites, I'm not that bothered. What registered for sender ID? No idea. I've never even looked at that one. I just buy a number.
You don't need any of that. Basically, Lead Simplify is designed to do everything for you, so you don't need to think about any of that stuff. Go in, buy a number. Once you've connected Lead Simplify to your Twilio account, so once you've connected, there's two codes top right. One's something like a private key, and there's two keys top right. One of them you have to unthing it, and one's a public key. You want both of them keys, put them into your Lead Simplify account, and it'll pull all the information in. As long as the number is activated for calls, you can use it in any of your call handlers. So you literally click it, pull it in, and it'll just do everything. The full call center capabilities. The number that you set up your system with, the first number that you add that you set up your system with, that you put in the actual settings, that one's got to be text enabled, because if it's not, if you want to send texts and emails to your lead buyers or to your contractors or whatever you're using it for in your system, that has to be that's got to be text enabled, because you're going to get 99% deliverability or 100% deliverability on text, whereas with email you're lucky if half of the people are going to open them. So I know it's whatever it is a text, but you'll find that'll pay for itself 100 times over. You only have to sell one lead. You're paying for 500 texts or whatever it is. So that one needs to be. But yeah, you don't need to worry about anything in Twilio. Just buy the phone number and then come over to your system, and your phone number, you'll be able to see it inside your call center as long as you're connected.
Similar sort of question, well, the same guy. Can we use toll-free numbers like 1-800? Yes, you can. Does it have to be SMS features in? No, unless it's for your one within the system. That's that one. When building out separate pages and blog posts, how often should we place MPP shortcodes into the individual pages or posts, and what shortcodes are used the most? I see the city shortcodes is there as an option to add in a post, and I know we can copy paste other shortcodes into pages posts, but there's a method to do this that we should practice. No. I use Xfields. Basically, city shortcode is on every page usually, but other than that, it's where you want them to be, and I use Xfields a lot, which are basically shortcodes.
Yeah, just usually write your content for the reader. Don't write your content for Google. Yeah. Write it for the reader. If I always say use big long pages with loads of broken up content, loads of headers and stuff like that. But the reason you want long content is you want to cover every area that they're interested in, but you also don't want to talk a load of shit and stuff it with loads of different location. Just write for the reader. Don't overthink the content. If you're writing correctly for the reader, and people are going to spend more time on your website, and that's the key. If people go on and they're reading something that's completely crap and they can't understand it, then they're going to go somewhere else. You write for the reader and forget about trying to stuff all your keywords.
Can we? Yeah, great. Like, can we go back to Keith? What you were saying, how you have so many Xfields. If you can maybe explain to people why you do the Xfield path, because I do it as well. I think a lot of the more advanced users use it, but for the beginners that are just using Magic Page, why would they want to use Xfields?
Xfields can be used for a huge number of things. One of the things I use them for is to make my life easier, because basically I use them on every site and they're there. And Xfields, I can block out whole bits of content. And I can also block out content and put it in depending on whether, the area that's in, using the location sets. And things like sort of videos. If I've got a video on a page, on my mass page, I can put a different video on that page depending on the location. So I could have a video for like Clearwater, which will be go across the whole of my site. But then I start making videos, as I mentioned before, if I'm getting traffic coming in for like Pinellas Park and things like that, I will make a video for them. I'll then put it on, and by using the X fields, I can actually have that video show up just on the Pinellas Park page with all the correct video schema and everything that goes with it. I can put links on which go to specific pages. When I get to the question that was in the actual post, that wants to actually have a look at how I spin images. So I'll show that, and I'll show you like what X fields I've got. Just make sure you're attached to your seat, Mike, when I show you what X fields I've got. You'll see why I want an export. Because it was a pain in the arse.
Yeah, what I'll do, mate, is when I'll take some screenshots while you're doing your screen share today, and I'll pass that to the team and say, look, guys, this is what our users are doing. You need to sort your shit out, basically, because they are trying to do it, but I don't think they realise how much we want it, because it's a one-click website, then, isn't it?
Yeah,
it
that's
really
what
is.
I use it for, because basically it's used for all my X fields are used for my schema. So all I do is I just go in, change the X fields, schema's done, and because I've got them set up, it just changes everything what I need changing within the schema just by filling in the X fields.
Right, sorry, I clocked that there and I couldn't see it because it was on the side, so I've just brought Tommy's question up. Talked about import options. I can do a bit of a screen share in a minute on the import stuff. I've just got the most recent one back, and what he's doing with it now is we're going to be able to import via Excel, but what I want us to be able to do, Tommy, is I want us to be able to export the existing databases. So what I want you to be able to do, so say you're building a like say you're building an Orange County website. Yeah, so you go to California, you install just the county, just Orange County. Then you go to your settings page and you export the database. So you're exporting all of Orange County. Then what you can do is you can add the meta columns inside of the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, which now accepts spin text and it accepts HTML. Basic HTML, you probably wouldn't get, I don't think you get away with JavaScript and stuff like that, just basic HTML. And then you can re-import it. And then what you've got is the shortcodes that we've already given you, plus a ton of other shortcodes that you want yourself. In fact, let me do a dead quick screen share on something, because then what you're also going to be able to do after that, let me just share screen. That one. Can everyone see that? Can you guys see my screen? I have to come back over and I can't see if you can see it.
You can see it, yeah.
I've got rid of our faces, yeah? Right, so for example, right, I've just set this one up today. What you're going to be able to do, and the export's not working on it as of yet, but what you're going to be able to do is go into here, and then you're going to be able to click on there, and you're going to be able to export the existing database that you've just installed. So if you was doing an Orange County website, you'd go to your settings page, you go up here to your databases, you'd go, I've installed something in the UK, but let's just go over to the United States and say, right, we're going to go to California. So we'd look for California, click on filters, select county, just hit the drop down. And we go to Orange County, and then we click apply filters. And if we have a look in, there's like 1,000 areas, that's 270. So what I may do is go in and make, sorry, I got bored here, smacking around. Apply places with over 10,000 population. So then it drops us down to 35. So that's probably a bit much. And that way you can really break it down. In the UK as well, you can also do it via zip code, sorry, postcode and zip code in the States, except for one of the northern areas. I know we've got a problem. Then what you do is you can export it, and you can add whatever you want inside of your location. So if I go into the locations now and click on edit, what you'll see is, you see this, add new custom field. You can now add new custom fields, let's call it just test, to any particular area as well, really, really quick without messing around. Enable your editor. Oh shit, I think that's going to reload. I should have put a confirm without reload. And you've got a proper editor in there as well, a proper text editor where you can put loads of cool information for that particular page. So if you want to work on your websites individual pages, you can do this, and then like add images and stuff like that. I can't remember where the images thing is, but I know he was showing it me earlier today. You add your images.
Add media.
Okay, yeah. Until I don't do.
Will that box be Elementor compatible?
That particular box won't, but you can still use these shortcodes inside of Elementor.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you put a load of crap in here like this, and then you click update. Only on that particular page, only on Abbotsbury, will you see this information. If you put that shortcode in, and everywhere else that shortcode gets used, you won't see it at all. So if I add a new magic page now, we should have a shortcode called test, but that shortcode will only work on that one location because we just added it to that location. But what's going to happen is if you import it, it's going to build a load of these that are going to be global. I don't know why it's not letting me in. I've only just got this. This is the new copy, so we might have a bug. I'm still testing this, guys. But
you got compatibility switched on.
Let's have a look. This is on Tony's hosting, so I don't think you need it. But let's turn it off. Click OK. Click save. I think it turns itself back. Yeah, it turns itself back on. Let's turn it off. Let's turn it on. I've not tried to open a page. He's literally just sent me this 5 minutes before we came on here, so I've not even played with it yet. I've literally installed it. Send him that blank picture. So yes, it's still not working proper. But you're going to be able to export your tables, your templates, and all your other crazy stuff. Add as many keywords and stuff as you want throughout it. And there's workarounds as well, because there's a few people who do a lot of affiliate marketing and use Magic Page, and they're having to go after local products and find crazy little ways of doing it. If you export the database and then you treat the location as like a product. So, for example, let's say you treat your keyword, obviously, and then you treat each one as like a, let's say you're doing car parts and you're doing an affiliate, or you're doing cameras and you're doing an affiliate, and you have each one can be each individual camera. You can upload it and give it the headings of the location, county, region, and all the rest of it, and then you can actually build affiliate sites with it as well, really, really well. Exactly. We're going to try and make that a little bit simpler for people, but those who understand what I've just said, who are actually building affiliate sites and don't just want to build for local products, it's great, because I'm going to use it for Amazon. I've started doing a ton of money on Amazon, and I think it's because everyone's buying off Amazon. If you've just seen how much that Jeff Bezos is now earning, well, my Amazon affiliates was been like that for God knows how long, and then in the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's just gone whew, making a fortune on Amazon. And it's like, what the hell? So wow. I want Magic Page to be able to do that as well for me. Sorry guys, I'm just see how I use it. For example, I want to import residential areas in big cities. How to do that? Okay, so sorry, I've seen the same question. I won't ask for any more questions till you finish, Keith, after this one. Templates that can be used to import. Okay, so if we go back over to the site, and then I'm not sharing my screen anymore, am I?
No, we see us. There we are.
Okay.
There you go.
Right, so basically, when you're going to import, you better go over to here, click import. There's a demo going to be downloaded somewhere. I don't know where he's fucking moved it. He's moved it. Right, you're going to be able to download a demo that's going to give you all the headlines and everything. But yes, you'll be able to import pretty much anything you want as long as you've got the right headers in place. So the headers are going to match what's on the locations tab. So if we go over to the locations tab here and you look inside one of these, your headers on your Excel spreadsheet are going to be these. So you can have name, slug, description, latitude, longitude, zip code, region, country, county, country, whether it's a major city or not. Now, you don't necessarily just have to use that for a major city, but let's say you're doing an affiliate site, for example. Let's say you've got a bunch of major parts that are big money parts. Then you'd click them as a major city, right? Because if you're doing it the other way around, and that way, when you're importing them, you're going to import them as your major parts, so you can put more of them into your city shortcodes. So every page links to the major parts that make the best money, and your internal linking is going to help rank them ones higher than the ones that are non-major parts that are not money makers. So say you've got 500 different car parts that you're using and you do affiliate on all of them, and you put them all into your spreadsheet and pull them all in, but maybe 15 of them, 20 of them make you the most money. You tick each of those as a major city, and that'll make it a major car part. Then you can create a city shortcode for just the major car parts, which you can put right at the top of every single page. And that internal linking structure, especially if you add keywords in as well and spin them, will really, really push those pages with your site's own internal linking structure.
Hey, Mike, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, man.
On that page that you're on right now, the settings page on the URL structure, could you make that URL structure allow for the regions shortcode for siloing?
No, I've asked and I want them to. No, but the only way you can do that is if you build a specific region site. So if I was doing Orange County, I'd do that /location. So then you'd have Locksmith, Orange County, and the location. But that's the only way you can do it.
Did you buy them a 6-pack or a 12-pack? Because usually 12-pack gets them to do it.
Mate, I've been asking them about that for a while. Apparently, we can't get it to work. We're struggling to get it to work. When I first created the script that I sent them for this, and we first got this live, it was crap. And what they've done now, I look inside it, and I haven't got a clue what's going on anymore. I just don't even touch it. But I know when I've been asking them about doing that, because the WordPress code is years out of date. I know that when I've asked them, can we do it? It's always been a specific no. It's not dynamic. It's fixed.
What about an X field? Can you stick an X field in there?
It's not dynamic. It's fixed.
Okay.
So it's like static data. It's part of the URL structure inside. I don't quite know exactly what it is, but I know he said it's fixed. So whatever goes in there shows, kind of thing. And it's not dynamic like the rest of the stuff that's fitted on the end. He mentioned it. He said it's like an engine room. So if you imagine you've got an engine room in the middle, that's where all your shit gets built. So if you're building car parts, that's where everything gets built. So you can't really change where you build it, but you can change what comes out the front door. And this was how he explained it to me. And he said,
so what about the second level, like where you have location just before location? Could it be, okay, the engine room stays the same, but have 2 branches instead of just location, have region, then location, so you can do the silo DMT structure?
Maybe. I've not even asked about that, to be totally honest. I can ask about that and find out for you. That'd be something I'd have to let me write it down.
Yeah, as an option, not always, because you wouldn't always want that, because you don't want to be that far away from the .com or .net with your location. But in some instances, especially with what you're talking about, with being able to have generic databases versus having the database that you've always had, that opens up a whole slew of opportunities with siloing. That is super exciting.
I know, but if you heard what Matt said the other week, he kind of scored the URLs, and when he scored the URLs, he was explaining that the I'm trying to get us back on. He was explaining that he kind of scores the URLs. He gives the www dot a point of 4, then the URL 5, right, and then after the .com, he gives a 3 and then a 2. So basically what you're talking about is the pages we want to rank, the location pages, because we don't want to rank for the counties because we get no traffic, would actually be in the worst place for them to be, as opposed to them being back up the URL.
Right. But here's where I'm going with this. This is just thinking out loud. If you can make the stuff after the engine room dynamic, you could have, let's say, region, location, and you could also have major cities. So what you could do is have your major cities, okay, be ahead of the smaller towns. So therefore you have sort of the suburbs and you have the major cities linking structure, which I think a lot of people would love to have because it would boost up the way cities work around here, where a major city has all of these little suburbs around it.
Love that idea. Yeah, I know you can do that via page, can't you? You can have a page which is like a specific page that only lists your major cities, but I will definitely 100% have a proper chat with him about that after I've sent this plugin to Keith, because I'm going to send that to Keith straight as soon as we get off here, and then I'll definitely get onto him because I know he's still in there working on the plugin right now. Sorry, Keith, was there any more questions you had? Because I can see Tommy's got another. I think he's got another one.
Couple more. This one's for next week, because basically it's I'd like to see an example how you integrate and work DMT with Magic Page. Well, if you actually got my course, you'll actually see one, because I've already put one in the course. How I'm using DMT. Yeah.
You're on live next week, aren't you, Keith?
Yeah.
You're on the webinar.
I've already got in the course how I'm using DMT.
Wicked.
I mean, I've got a lot more to learn off Matt, but I'm already using DMT inside my sites.
Keith is getting better at plugging himself. He's getting better at marketing himself. I love it. Yeah, you go, Keith.
Keith's the man. I learn off Keith now. I don't even. I don't try anymore. I just go to Keith and say, "How do I do this, mate?"
He says, "I wonder how their file URLs will be," which obviously we'll cover that next week. Magic Page managing the local aspect of the URL. Also, can we? I think that's spin the content. Yeah, of course you can. I use something else to do that as well now. Previous to export to WordPress, can we use spin text? Yep. And the codes we use in Magic Page, I love deep training MPP with DMT. Thanks. Well, that will be coming because, like I say,
3rd June, same time as today, but on next Wednesday. Webinar is going to be me, Keith, and Matt all on live. Matt's probably going to be taking from the start. Me and Matt had a script to go, but then I asked Keith if he could make it, and he's decided he can now. So we're going to throw the scripts in the bin, and Matt's going to build the DMT thing out, and we're just going to figure it out all the way through the webinar, which I think will be pretty cool. I'm trying to get Matt to do another special offer. Now, it's not going to be $500, but I've just said to him, look, if you can, even if it's just for 10 people on the webinar, because I'm getting so many emails. Do you know, right? I don't know how many we sold of them, right? There was a ton of people bought them. We've not had a single person ask for a refund, not one. Now, everything I've ever sold, including my own products, right? People ask for refunds all the time. It's the name of the game. People just buy and then refund and buy and then refund. It's just what they do. Not a single one, right? And I spoke to Patrick Tuttle, because I know Patrick Tuttle and me are the only people that's really had the rights to push it through him. He's not done it through nobody else. Patrick had one person ask for a refund, and that is it out of hundreds of sales. It really is. It's fucking brilliant, isn't it? And when you put it to with Magic Page, so I'm after the webinar with Matt. Me and Matt I've got to sit down and spend a bit more time with him to try and figure out the best strategy for the two to work together, because we've also got a Master Website Builder, which is in beta testing at the minute with all of the founding members. And once that goes live and starts getting pushed out, I want to then start trying to, we've got a bit more flexibility with that. We've got a bit more we can do with it as far as URL structure is concerned and other crazy things, because it's been taken right back and then rebuilt from the ground up. So we haven't got as much flexibility with the builder as we'd like. But as far as things like URL structures, SEO, doing all the other crazy stuff for the HTML side of things, we can do a hell of a lot more. So we've got some I'm really excited about that. I can't wait.
Yeah, that major city functionality of the database that you have is very important. The URL structure and the major city thing helps you to do DMT with Magic Page.
What does? Oh, I know it does. Yeah. No,
yeah,
I think you're overthinking it, because DMT's right. The hub. You're not building really right. So if you imagine. What you're trying to build? You're trying to build a globe of money keywords, non-location specific, non-region, no location. What you want is all of your money keywords turned your center of your website into like a brick, solid everything's covered. All the money angles is covered completely. And then what that does is that boosts up the power of your website massively, because literally what you're doing is you're getting all the traffic and all the money keywords. And then when you start hitting it with the magic pages all the way around, you still don't need to go OTT with the MPP pages, because what happens is each individual page that surrounds this like solid clump of keywords, it gets more relevance because it's connected to the central site. But if you started doing that to all of them little areas as well, I think you'd kill it. I don't think it'd work. I think you'd be going too far, because that's whenever we've done keyword times location with MPP, and we've been testing this for over 2 years now. And I was talking to Matt about this the other day, and even he was saying, yeah, it won't work. Keyword times location, Google looks at it and starts to see it as spam. But if you have one individual page that goes on about them specific, every single one of them specific keywords, all the money keywords, and then your location specific pages are location specific, it ranks long term. It ranks really, really well. And in our testing, we found that if we try and put 3, 4, 5, 6 magic pages in, and we do 3, 4, 5, 6 keywords times the location versus just the location with long content and all of the stuff included, what we find is after 6 to 8 weeks, the other ones, you need to start having to build links to them. You need to start having to build citations to them. You need to start having to send lots of fake traffic to them because they're not getting any traffic. And as soon as you stop working on them, they just drop out of the search engines. So you're in a situation where really what you're doing is you're building a wall, and then it keeps fucking falling over, and you have to keep rebuilding it and rebuilding it and rebuilding it, because you're never going to have to stop working on it. Whereas if you do the one long content page and you put it up, it generates its own traffic because of how many different keywords it ranks for automatically, even though they've not all got high traffic. So it generates 10 times the traffic as the other pages, and you can rank them a hell of a lot easier and a lot longer for a lot less work, and they just work better. And this is something we've been testing, because everybody, as you know in the group, has been mithering the shit out of me for the last 2 years, longer, 3 years, to do keyword times location on Magic Page. The reason I won't is because Magic Page has got a really, really good name, and it's one of the only mass page builders out there that actually ranks long term without doing a lot of work. And the reason that is, it's not because all the other mass page builders are shit or they don't work. They all work. There's some really great tools out there. The reason they drop is because people are left to their own devices. It's too easy to kill it. It's too easy to build a site and go after more rather than go after the quality. That little thing that we've put in there stops you being able to do that. It stops you being able to kill your sites. And that's why we've done what we've done. And that's why it's still got such a good name. And it still ranks for everybody that's ever built a site. Whereas if we go down the other route, the sites will start to drop. I know for a fact they will, because we've been testing it and testing it and testing it and testing it. And they're not doing big tests. They're doing this on single variable testing. So I don't get involved with the work. They just show me what they've done, show me this. They track the rankings and they say, look, bam, they're all dropping, de-indexed, gone. And some of the ones, even without massive amounts of content on single magic pages, they still rank long term. But if you start hitting keyword times location, Google's got some clever ass algorithm that just kicks them out. It de-indexes them, and that's the problem with a lot of some really good ones like SERPshaker and things like that are really good, but they have to be used right because they give you too much flexibility. And if you don't know what you're doing, then the sites drop. They just get taken out. So we've got to be really careful when you're talking about the major cities and the keyword times location and doing that with DMT. You start going in too far with all that, you're just going to kill your sites. Guaranteed.
What I've done with mine is basically run it through DMT, like sort of termite control, and basically I've got me location pages, and then underneath what I've done is I've just built a load of different pages, all to do with termite control, whether it's like sort of termite prevention, all the different keywords what come out, which had like good search volume and which were sending traffic to the likes of Terminix and Orkin and all of them, which are all the big names. And I've built all them out. But then what I've also done is stuck some Amazon products on just to see what will happen if I get them. And I've also got like links going up to the different pages randomly, up for the major pages that I'm trying to rank for, like sort of Clearwater is a major one. And then, so I've got that one going up. And that's how I've used it to build it out. The other thing what I found good about it was I stuck a client site in who was just building a website for him and doing a bit of stuff for him. And I just thought, I'll just stick it in and see what happens. And I put the big guys in from there, and it literally come back and just listed out a load of like areas where I just looked at and thought, they'd be good areas to do some targeting for actually doing selling some leads, because there was like sort of areas which I never thought of, and they were getting like sort of 1,000 searches a month for this niche. It was like, I don't know where I'm going after this, because I'm already doing the research for his bloody site, so I might as well make some more money out of it. So I'll be putting some more new sites up pretty soon. And
That's good.
DMT is just absolutely bringing shitloads of stuff in.
Have you been using it for questions as well? What I've been, sorry, I didn't really explain what I've been doing. But some of the things I've been doing with it, what I noticed when I was doing a thingy with Matt the other day, I don't know if he did it live or if it was just me and him. But anyway, I was talking to him the other day and we was looking at it, and it was something along the lines of, what do bed bugs look like, type of question. And I clocked it and I was like, fucking hell, man. And I've got loads of searches. And I was like, yeah, do you know what? Because if you've seen a bug on your bed, the first thing you'd type is, what does a bed bug look like? Because you'd think, do we need to get the house thingy, whatever reason. Same with headlights and whatever other things. You'd be like, what does it look like? How does it? And when I clocked it, I thought, that's actually a question. That's actually similar to what Lloyd's does. But Lloyd's just pulls in a ton of questions and answers off Google based on thingy, so you don't really know what you're doing. If you want to spend the time and effort, right, if you go through, you use that specific tool, you can pull in and only write the questions that are getting a ton of search for your questions and answers section just by going through and doing it. So I've not necessarily been building the framework structures always, but I've been using the questions on the magic pages at the bottom of the magic pages, so that we've got all of the high traffic questions in there and the ones that are generating money.
I would agree 100%.
I put the questions
quality,
in.
Yeah, quality over quantity always works. If you have things that are better quality with the demand for the traffic, and you have 8 of those versus 80 weird questions, go with the 8 that are really solid questions, lots of traffic.
I put the questions in, but I also have the schema in as well, just to give it an extra boost.
I've been getting schema showing up on my ad. Has anyone else had that? Do any of you do AdWords? Anyone who's on, do you do AdWords? Because I've been getting what looks like the schema showing up in my AdWords, and I've also been getting, I've been doing areas served in my schema, and then I'm getting underneath my AdWords, I'm getting frigging other areas local. So it says, like, it covers this area, and then it's got a list of also this area, like 4 or 5 different areas underneath on my AdWords, and it's been going bigger as well. Like,
that's because
content.
Right, they're changing the fonts, they're making them bigger.
Google's actually picking up that your site covers that. It's like when you see some of them, they'll say these are the other products what they sell.
Well, when you said AdWords, you geo target them as well, so that could be also where they're getting that data. I thought
it's definitely coming from my schema, because the sites without schema, it's not doing it on. It must be coming from the schema. It can't be pulling in the city shortcode, because it's coming in with like the keyword and the location. So say they're typing lost car key location, it's coming up lost car key and location. But then underneath I'll have lost car key, and then the next closest area, lost car key, and the next closest area, for like 3, 4, 5 of them underneath. And
take a screenshot next time. There's a lot of experimental stuff going on with Google's AdWords or Google Ads. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because there's a lot of talk about how that's impact on SEO and people trying to rank their mom and pops.
Has anyone got any questions?
Schema around everything. This one's a good one. I recently built my magic page with 7,500 locations and didn't choose the auto install function. I haven't indexed these pages as yet. Yeah, they probably won't get indexed. Problem is, I can only find 1,000 pages from the site. I used a broken link site to test for amount of pages on the site. What am I doing wrong? Building 7,500 pages to kick off with is probably one. Why are they not shown when I run a test? Because they're not indexed. If I choose the auto install function, will it not create too many redirects for the pages that were already created? Don't build sites with 7,500 locations. It's just crazy.
No, you need to build them gradual. All you need to do is if you put 7,500 locations in, maybe send 100, 150 live, and then set the system up so it sends another 10 or 20 pages live every day. So you'll go from 150 to 160 to 170 each day. Each of those will also have the date that they were published on, so Google can see that pages, even if it indexes them all at once, it can see that the pages are being indexed gradually. But 7,500 pages live, I wouldn't even try and get them indexed, to be honest. Not the way things are at the minute, unless you've got a really, really powerful domain name that's already been on a big site before, and all of the previous URLs have been recreated for that. So you've put it live like that. You can use Screaming Frog, but it only does 500 URLs. There was another one that works on Windows. Do you remember what that was called, Keith?
No, I use Screaming Frog, but
Do you pay for it?
No.
No, that's it. Only does 500 URLs, doesn't it? But I don't need to pay for it either.
I never build sites above 500 because I don't see the point. Because I'd rather have 3, 4, 5 sites in an area, which are all ranking and which are all overlapping each other, so that I get 3 or 4 slots plus a video on page 1, as opposed to 1 slot on page 1. So I'm just greedy. Why keep
Keep in mind also the power of subdomains. If you get a really good domain with some authority, right, and you use the subdomains to kind of create your either pockets, regions, states, whatever as the subdomain, you could get to 7,500 pages on a domain like that, but you have to break it up into subdomains. And with the Evergreen site model, you can easily spit those out fairly well with Xfields, and with Evergreen site model, you could build up, a New York page and Southern California page. Just break up the states that are big into smaller subdomains. And they'll react just like a local, business would, because you're only going to have 150 page per subdomain.
Yeah, the counties might be a good one for that. If you just go after the counties.
Yeah, region. Yeah.
I think you can only really do that in the US and UK at the minute accurately. I'm not sure how accurate the rest are, but not how accurate they are. But I don't think we've got the filters as the way you can go for counties. Like India, I think we've got 1 million locations. But we probably haven't got it broken down into counties and everything else, and it probably cost me too much money to do that for the amount of people that are actually using it. But the people that are using it in India are absolutely smashing it. That it really does well over there. But you can't break it down the way we're doing it here. You've got to, unfortunately, one location in India's got 150,000 locations.
Right, so that was all of the questions on the form. Cheers for filling the forms in, guys. There's one, like I say, which was put in the actual post, and that was somebody wanted to have a look at how to spin pictures. So,
okay, are you going to demo that?
Yeah, I'll share my screen because I've got this, and then I'll show you. Well, I'll go in and show you like sort of my Xfields.
Okay, cool.
So,
I'll take a screenshot of that.
or 2. Right, so select window or screen. I think it's that one. Yeah. So tell us when you can see my screen.
Got ya.
Where do you see it?
Yeah. You can see it. Right. So if I go to here, so this is in the magic page for.
Do you want to go full screen on that, Keith?
Yeah.
Just it's right in the middle of your screen.
Yeah. Is that better? So you got there, you got. Right, so this is the start of my X Fields here. So how many screenshots do you want? Because there's one screen full.
Forget 7,500
That's two screen full.
Forget 7,500 cities. He's got 7,500 X Fields.
There you go. That's the bottom of them.
Fucking hell.
I've never actually counted them, but.
Okay, now I know why you keep my from it. Right, send me some screenshots on Skype. Well, I'll send you the plugin after this, the new one, and I'll send that over to the team and say, look, this is what people are doing with the X Fields. We need exports. It's essential.
Right, so,
I get it.
Yeah, that's why So that's X Field anyway. So how to spin images. So this is, like I say, this is one of these sites. This one's not fully built out yet, which is why I'm using it. It's for Gulfport, which is going in the Pinellas Park area. So obviously I'm using Elementor. You can't do it if you use the image bit, the image container. If you use like the image container, you can't do it. So you have to do it inside a text editor bit. But it's really very easy. Just click on your text. Just scroll that out a bit.
Mate, I could not work on these sites. That shit's making me itchy.
Right, so got your text scroll out. Go into your text mode. Now what I'll do is basically, I'll take these out. To there.
I just hope this doesn't become the thumbnail of our video.
So I'll always put the brackets in first. Yeah. Open curly bracket, close curly bracket, then make sure that's in the middle. Now you can just put the ID of the image in if you want, like the name of the image, but just in case I change them or anything like that, I just put the whole URL in. So I just go in. I've got to try and remember which images were there now, don't I? It was that one, that was one of them. Yeah, that looks about it. So I'll put that one in. I think there's probably full size.
So for step one, all you do is you go in here, you choose which images you want, and you just copy and paste the URLs into a list.
Yeah, use you're inside your text field here.
Yeah. So
you put your I always center them. You put it in there, and all you do is do add media, just as you would do on a normal page. You select your actual image you want. You put your alignment, which say this one I want to go. Oops, mouse is going weird. If I was on a page, I would put it like sort of left or right. And sometimes what I'll actually do is I'll actually put it so that I'll pick this first one and I'll do it left. Insert into post.
Have you ever tried doing this, right, where you just insert one image, right? Then you go into where it says alignment left and you just change left, right, center.
Yeah.
Spin the left, right, and center word, and then you just get the image URLs and spin them rather than the whole thing.
I've never tried spinning that, no.
Just the actual URL.
I use the SpinTech shortcode
for all this. So let's...
No, show them how you're doing it first. Sorry, I'm going to confuse
things. Right. Okay, cool. So that one will go like, say, align left. Then, why is my mouse not working properly? Then put your break in. And then add another media image. So again, I would pick the same image, and then align right. And then do insert post. Then just put a break in. Add media. Don't know which one the other image was. I think it was that one. Yeah. So leave that one at right. Insert. And that's basically how easy it is. And then when you display the page, if I just update that now, and come on. Which one was it done? Awesome. Oh, he's got a magic page. That's the wrong side.
Yeah, Craig's just put something in there as well. That's pretty handy. Mass Optimizer, if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's Lloyd Farrell's tool.
Yeah.
That's got an image spinner. I was thinking about Patrick's tool because that you put that into your thing and it can create hundreds of images from one.
Yeah.
So all the image URLs would be different. I was talking to Martin the other day about something similar to this, and he knows a way of how to make. In fact, I'm going to see him tomorrow, so I'm going to be in Manchester for a few days with him. But he knows how to make the writing on the image change based off what shortcode you're using. Now I'm trying to get him to show my guys how he does it, but it's not happened as yet.
Because I put a break in there, I got no bloody image. Let's see.
So what did you put a break at the end? So it was a blank.
I put a break at the end, and of course it come back as a blank image. Sod's law. Scroll in.
We get a lot of Facebook users, don't we? But I can't tell you who they are.
No. There you go. So it's come in, and it's come to the left. So if I go to go to St. Petersburg. See if we get a different one up.
Hey, Keith, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Why do you do it that way instead of using the SpinTech shortcode?
Just the way I've always done it.
Okay. It seems a little bit simpler to just throw in the image into the SpinTech shortcode because that handles HTML, then stick the SpinTech shortcode in there.
Yeah, you could do, but I just like doing it that way because I'll change them sometimes. And also if you've got, you want to adjust them for things like mobile phones and things like that, I'll do that. As you can see, there's one of my X fields, and that's a site link. So that on the actual page for St. Petersburg, this will turn into a link to St. Petersburg, which will then go to my St. Petersburg site. And that's some of the things what I use it for with the location sets. I don't think I've got the video, because this is not fully built out, I haven't got all the different videos on yet. I've only got the one video. Well, that's how easy it is to do image spinning. So stop.
All right. Sorry, I'm playing on something else at the minute. Just having a look at.
You trying that thing out? I'll try that out later.
We lost him there.
Yeah,
there
sorry, mate.
Right. He was on his Xbox during that. He was playing a video game.
Facebook user said this. Yeah, I wouldn't have an Xbox. I won't do any work. If it doesn't make money, I don't touch it. I asked a question about 7,500 locations. It's not showing all the URLs in Screaming Frog, even though my magic. Right? Have you got premium Screaming Frog? You've got to pay for it. It'll only show 500 URLs for the free version, and a lot of them will be internal image files and stuff like that. So you won't even get a full 500 URLs. Even though Magic Page says I have 7,500 locations, it would seem that some locations are missing, only showing 700 locations. Right, if you click on your locations tab, you'll be able to see how many locations you've got in there. They might not be missing. If you put it on shared hosting, if you imagine, right, these pages are generated dynamically. So if you put it on not the best hosting, what would happen is, as it's crawling, your server might meet its ability, and it might stop, because you've got to imagine it's going through 7,500 pages 7,500 times. So I don't know how much that is, but it's quite a lot. Please can someone help? I'm not looking to index it. Was a test to see where the locations all show up in Screaming Frog. Tested in the site bulb and same issue. Yeah, that is probably your thingy at overloading your server.
I have a question for this individual. How many cities do you have in your shortcode? Do you just have the city shortcode, just plain the 10, or do you have it modified like we talked about with like 3 or 4, shortened down? And if you've done that with the shortener, why don't you try like 20 cities? You can do that, right, Mike? You could add like 20 cities to that shortcode and then do the crawl in your test and see if that comes up with it. Because it could be the way your cities are planted, you might not get every single one to come up in the crawl.
No, the only reason I can think of why it won't is because it's he has the city shortcode he's just popped in.
Yeah.
The only reason I can think of it wouldn't could be your hosting. Is it on shared hosting? Because if you go into, like I said, 7,500 pages, up to 7,500 MySQL database queries, because it has to check every single little area, and if it's halfway down, then just loading one page would go through 3,200 and something lines. If it's down the bottom, it'll go through more. So if you imagine that crawl is going to be generating millions of hits onto your website. So unless it's on a decent server, and it's got 10 locations and it says
what also
log into your cPanel. I'm just going to say log into your cPanel, run the crawl, and then refresh your cPanel, and when it hits 100%, you know that's why it stopped.
That's a good point. Yeah,
because that's what I'll do.
The other question I would have is, did you use the filters to create these cities in the database, and maybe they're spread out? So, like, let's say you put cities at 50,000 population, they might be so spread out that they might not crawl perfectly.
1 second. He's just said he's going to upgrade his hosting. You don't necessarily need to upgrade your hosting, right? I wouldn't build straight off the bat with 7,500 locations. If you're going to be building 7,500 locations, delete them all, right? Then put the 7,500 locations. I don't know why you want it so big. I can't imagine it's ever going to rank.
I think he's just testing it, though.
Yeah, it's the kind of site that you're gonna want to do on a national basis. But delete all of the pages. Put your 7,500 locations in. Set it to auto drip feed the locations over, say, 300, 400 days, and then activate 150 of those locations. What it'll do is it'll go out and randomly select 150 locations from wherever the site's covering, and then what it'll do is over time it'll just gradually build more and more and more for you, and Google will slowly crawl the site then, and every time Google comes to the site, it sees new pages being added all the time, which means it sees it as a working website. So because it looks to be getting built and growing over a period of time, it will actually rank better. Whereas if you're doing it how you're doing it there, where you send 7,500 live instantly, again, Google doesn't crawl a full website. It crawls a page, and then it'll go in and crawl a load of pages, and it might leave your site after crawling 100 pages, but it might come back. And what will happen is if you're actively building, then it'll find different pages in different parts of the website as they become indexed, and then those different pages will then get crawled, and that'll crawl the closest areas to those pages using the city shortcode. So if you've got a city over here, here, and here, when it hits this one, it might spread out 25, 30 mile around that doing its indexing, and the same will down here and the same down here. And then what it'll happen is it'll find one of the pages that's 20 or 30 mile from the original page, and then it'll spread out from that. But that's the only real way you could build big sites. You've got to build them gradual. You start throwing up that many pages instantly, unless you're doing something like trying to get something up for Christmas, where you're doing a Christmas sale on an affiliate site or something like that. There's no real benefit to using a site like to building a site with 7,500 locations instantly, because it's not going to rank long term. Whereas if it's an affiliate site and you think, wow, I just want to sell Christmas decorations and I don't care if it drops in 6 weeks because Christmas is over, then I understand trying to get 7,500 pages indexed.
Well, the other thing is, he's going to need to be well spun content on there for 7,500 locations. Because otherwise, once Google starts spotting like sort of 3, 4, 5, 6 locations which you've all got the same stuff on, it's just going to stop crawling anyway. Google's just going to think it's all just duplicate content, so I'll just stop crawling on this site. And then it'll just hold there, and then them pages beyond won't get indexed.
I tell you what, I've just been testing as well recently. I can't share the site because it's one of my money sites, and I share the locksmithing now because it is what it is, and people know about it. But it's making me really good money. What I did is I created a big website. Now it's probably got about 14,000 pages now, and it's took a while to get there. We grow it gradually over a period of time, and I don't put in sitemaps, so I let Google index anyway, so it's not a big deal for it to thingy. But what I did is I've set it up so that as soon as you land on the page redirects to the home page instantly, right? So every time you land on it, no matter where you hit it, it lands on that and goes to the home page, lands on that and goes to the home page, and it's ranking like crazy. I don't know why yet. I'm still playing around figuring it out, but I don't know why, because we've not put any backlinks, we've not done anything special to it. As soon as you land on the page, it takes you straight to the home page, and so you don't really get to see the page, and no spin text, nothing like that. The content on every single page is identical. I think we've got
301 redirect.
Can't remember now. It will be. No, it won't be. No, it'll be temporary redirect. We might have just done it with. No, 301's permanent. It won't be a 301.
Okay.
But no, the ranking like mad, like crazy, and I don't know why. And I've not figured it out why yet. So I'm not really showed anyone. But once I figure out why it's doing it, I'll let people know what I've done and why it worked. But at the minute, I just know it's working.
That could be good for expired domains, and then just link off your homepage.
I do that with expired domains, innit? I tell you what else I do with expired domains. I buy expired domains. I use Switchy. I use BL.inc, and I've got a couple of others as well that are redirectors. And I buy an expired domain, then I set the homepage to one of my others and set it up using a URL redirector. And then what I do is I build backlinks, 301 redirect backlinks from the domain name without building any hosting off it, and redirect it. You don't even see them. The backlink checkers don't even see these links. So you've got say I've got locksmith.com, right? What I'll do is I'll have locksmith.com, and I will have it 301 redirected into whichever one of my sites because of its history. But then what I'll do is I'll create locksmith.com/something, and I'll have that 301 redirected in to one of my other websites, a different website somewhere else or something different, and I'll have a / different stuff, so I can create multiple backlinks from a domain name using these 301s, and nobody can see the backlinks. It doesn't seem to show. I've not been able to find them. I don't know if there's a tool out there that does find them, but I'm not being able to actually find the backlinks. But I am seeing ranking increases doing it. I'm doing it, just playing around and testing it, and I am seeing ranking. Did I show you inside the system the other day, Keith, or was that Dave Casser that shown?
That'll be Dave Casser.
Yeah, it's mad. So I'm buying these domain names, and I'm not even doing anything with them except adding them to me domain thingy, whatever you call them, that pass your domain names around. Yeah. And my favorite one's at switchy.io. Because if you share a link, you can actually share it and it shows a proper image and does all the other cool stuff. But that BL.inc, that one does the permanent 301 redirects. So it's really quick and easy to do. If anyone on the watching knows why that's working, please tell us. Because I don't know why it's working, but it does it. It's working.
Yeah, so that's not something I've got. I use expired domains, but I normally build them out because I'll find like sort of like you say, like Locksmith Manchester, and like sort of build it out as a locksmith site in Manchester and things like that. Just like we discussed this like last week. You've just got to be careful you don't pick up on somebody's like sort of name, otherwise you'll get slapped.
Is that what you do? Do you watch Mike's account to see if he drops a domain and then you grab it right away, Keith?
No, I don't do locksmith now. When I first started, when I first got to know about it, I was doing locksmiths as lead gen sites, but obviously without Magic Page, and I was building them up. Then once I knew Mike, and then I started like sort of continued building them up. But then everywhere I went, I found about 3 or 4 Mikes on page 1. I was like, oh, sod this for a game of soldiers. So I just stopped doing locksmith sites. I couldn't be bothered. So I just scrapped all my locksmith sites, and now I don't even touch locksmith. I've got other sites now what I use.
We're building up other networks now that are really starting to come up and starting to rank, but there's a lot of it, and I'm not telling people what they are because the amount of negative SEO and the amount of shit and the amount of porn links I've got on my sites is unbelievable. Just through making it public, it's like you make it public to try and help people, and then they go and shove a load of porn links to your site. It's like fucking assholes.
That's why on the course I've used Ring Partner instead of like sort of selling it to like sort of going through Link Simplify and things like that. Because then if anybody slaps my sites with like sort of any shit or anything like that, then I'm not bothered. It's not affecting me as such, and it's not affecting me. Course one, because like I've just showed up there, the pest control ones in America. That's why I've used them, and I'll link them to Ring Partner. So basically, any calls that go through, they go through Ring Partner and stuff. So it's not affecting me, and it's not really affecting another business. So if anybody decides to do want to be dickheads with it, then crack on.
What's that?
I'll just put another site up.
ODYS, what is that?
ODYS.
James. Yeah, he's just put the best place for non-drop domains.
It's ODYS, never even heard of that.
Creating 7,000 looking for spin paragraphs, sentences, and words. You can make them unique enough to get crawled and indexed. Yeah, but you don't want to throw them all up at once, do you, James? You'd want to build that gradual. Wait, there he's putting up more. I can't read a little bit, so I'm putting them on. Also, test out YouTube's sitemap tricks, indexation.
Yeah, I use YouTube a lot.
Oh, is
How do we enjoy SEO? Don't know what that is. Never heard of it.
I'll have a look at it, but I've never heard it. Right, has anyone got any questions about the thing? We've been on just over an hour now. I try not to keep these things too long. Just, I think Martin will be back next week. I'm hoping to be able to demo the new invoicing system that's going inside Elite Simplify next week. It probably won't have the pre and the post pay setup thing live, but I mean it could have. I'm with Martin as of tomorrow. I'm driving down to see him tomorrow. I'll be with him this weekend, then he's coming up here for a week, so we'll be working.
Driving up to see him, not down.
Whatever. Mrs. always says that to me. It's up, it's not down. It's like, why do you give a shit what I said? She always says it to me, and it's like, what difference does it make? It's down. What makes it up? I don't understand.
You're down because you're at the bottom of the country now.
Yeah, well, that's just because somebody said north, south, east, and west on a map. It's not actually down, is it? Because we're on a ball. We live on a big.
Going over that way.
There's no such thing as down.
I thought the Earth was flat.
Yeah, my brother said that to me the other day.
He did?
Yeah, he said they used to believe the Earth was flat, and apparently someone's found giant skeletons. Test and 301 to a location site. I don't know what that means, but yeah, 301 redirects. I'm finding work. I don't know about whether it's giving me as much juice as it would via but a proper link from building a site and giving the site links and stuff like that. I've not tried doing 301 redirects to domains that have 301 redirected in. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you can use multi-level linking via 301s. I don't know. Has anyone here tested that?
Have not.
No? Might be something I have a play with then. Right, if anyone's got any questions to ask, guys, anyone's got anything that they're struggling with on their Magic Page plugin, Lead Simplify, once my website builder goes live, we'll probably put that on air as well, and I might try and drag Tony on each week. But if not, I'm going to go and pack my stuff and get ready for the drive down to Manchester tomorrow.
Awesome.
Down to Manchester, Keith.
Down.
No, my missus
you bloody sure that is.
Yeah, it's down everywhere I goes down. Terry Keys has just popped something. I just joined the live stream, but I have a question about Lead Simplify. Does LS do call forms? For example, a customer fills out a form and then it calls the lead buyer, and once they pick up, it says, "You just received a lead. Do you want to call them? I was using another software before LS called Dialhawk that handled this smoothly." Right. Martin's already spoke to me about this. It's not going to be like what you've just said about filling in a form. It's going to be something about request a callback. I don't understand. He's got about 3 or 4 other things, because what they want to do is they want to make it so that every single way of contacting somebody. So if you've got a guy who's on a mobile phone who's locked out somewhere, for example, who's not got any credit on his phone, he can click on the thing on the site and it'll say request a callback. They pop in their details, then click the button and it'll ring them back. So it's like a callback form, but that's a little bit further down the line, because I know how much more we need the invoicing system first because we've gone through our system and probably 80% of the users are rank and rent guys. Hence why I'm running the rank and rent course for everybody, because we've got tons and tons of rank and rent guys on there that are not yet doing the pay per lead model, and they should be, because there's a lot more money in it. So that's why we're making the invoices priority. But this is something that we have discussed, and it is something that's coming, but it's not at the minute. And once the invoicing system's finished, then all the points of contacts possible, everything you can think of, any way of contacting from anything, which means like a little chatbot thing that pops up down the bottom as well. We're working on something about that as well. So eventually you won't need any other plugins or anything on your website if you use Lead Simplify. You'll literally just have a piece of code, paste it in, and it'll do everything. It'll set up the whole thing on your website, including the positioning, the CSS and everything, where they sit. So you'll have a little pop-up in the bottom right for maybe a phone number pop-up. You'll have all sorts of crazy shit. But yes, it doesn't do it yet, Terry. Sorry, I can't read these. +1 for ODs use for all my location sites. ODYS. I'll just watch this back, and because I'm going to test that out. So 15,000 pages using this domain just by 301ing. The typical SEO procedure, the one you start with no matter what. Example, number of links, social signals, time frame, do each step, and volume in the links. I'm putting these up so people can read them. Also, you can get great webinars. Did anyone watch last night's webinar? I'll take that as a no, because nobody answered. Did a webinar last night with a guy called flipping heck, I forgot his name now. How rude's that of me to not remember it. It's, you know, when you think it's just gone. I just put it live on my YouTube channel. I swear to God, Ben Adkins, that was it, yeah, right. And do you know, like, everybody's running around doing what we're doing. We're all going after these real world businesses and brick and mortar businesses and all the normal businesses that we're going after. The webinar he did last night, it's completely new. It's completely modern. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It had me, because it's an industry that's growing so fucking fast, And the people involved are used to being contacted via email and via messenger and stuff like that. So you didn't need to pick up a phone call. But when he went through and he's shown what he's doing and how he's doing it, and he had me, it's like, like your kids don't want to be footballers anymore. They want to be YouTubers now. It's kind of like that type of industry, whereas it's not going away. It's only just kicking off. And I think the people who get in early and deal with it first are going to make an absolute ton of money.
The people that... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying a lot of money. It's a really, really good, unique strategy. It's not one... I'd not seen the webinar before because me or Dave decide which webinars we do. And Dave had seen it and he said, you're going to love it and all that. So I sat and watched it last night with everybody else. And I was like, wow. Because you don't need to be skilled. You don't need to know anything. You don't even need to have computer skills to get involved with what he's doing. It's so simple. It's so easy. And it's so new. And you're not going after, your normal businessmen. You're not going after these guys that are out on the tools or people. It's brilliant. It's well worth a watch. It really is. I don't mention my webinars much after the webinars are over, but last night's webinar, the replay's on the YouTube, and I think there's a replay page somewhere. Brilliant. The guy's really clever. Really impressed with what he's done. One question. I was building my Evergreen site. I am pretty sure Google crawled a few of my pages with the spin text content on disabled, so it would have read it with the curly brackets. I have since updated and fixed. Will Google penalize me heavily for that? I've done that in the past myself, and I've actually done it with sites where they've been up 6 months. And the truthful answer is I don't know if it penalized me or not. But you can't really worry about it. Just switch the spin text on and see how it goes. But yeah, no, I've done that myself in the past. I've had it where it's been in me meta. In fact, the new site I built recently, one of my meta descriptions I was looking at the other day when I did site : it had been in one of the descriptions. It still had had a short code that had indexed. Don't know is the answer, mate, to be totally honest. Please repeat where we can see that webinar. Let me get the link for you now. 1 second. Let me go over to my YouTube channel and get the...
While you're doing that, I just wanted to comment about that webinar, which I did watch. The thing is a lot of the things that have come up over the whatever years, people can outsource it to some other country. People can outsource it to major corporations and things like that. But what he was talking about, you actually have to have a human that understands the topic, that understands the culture to curate out the information. And so if you like to watch a certain type or listen to a certain type of podcast or pay attention to a certain niche, that is like a perfect job for somebody because the influencer doesn't have time to do it. And it just makes a whole lot of sense. And there's a ton of business out there for that because there's so many influencers and, people on YouTube and all of that kind of thing.
He does, I don't know how many we sold, but he does a 50% discount coupon as well. Yeah. It's inside the webinar, so you'll have to watch it to get it. I've just posted the link up, vsl.goto.deals/coffee, I think it is. I don't know what the image it'll show because, I just don't know what image it'll show, but it's definitely worth watching that webinar. It was brilliant. It really had me shocked. I was like, really impressed with it.
I'll have to watch it when I get my tea tonight.
Have you tried Menterprise? It's comparable to Spin Rewriter, but it also writes the content for you in full. Yeah, a lot of the guys, you use it, don't you, Keith?
It's a lot better than... I use it every day. It's like, now that's my go-to tool for everything. Because you just do a search and basically it comes back with your content. Done.
I was talking
about... If you put it on a money site, I still tweak it. Yeah, if you put it on a money site, I still tweak it. But for like your dynamic backlinks and things like that, you can just chuck it straight up. It's absolutely bloody awesome. It's Menterprise. Definitely awesome.
Yeah, apparently I was talking to Matt and he said his wife was a copywriter and that's why it's so good. So it's not been just done by an internet marketer or someone who hasn't got a clue. It's been built by somebody who's actually a proper copywriter, so she understands it, and that's why it's so much better than everything else. It's bloody dear, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's bloody dear, but you can research. Basically, it does what I taught in the course, because it goes away. It finds like your top 20 pages. It pulls them all back in, and then it mixes them all up, and then it puts them into like content, and then you can put in like your headers, and then you can put in images and videos, and it's just the dog's bollocks for like sort of getting stuff done. It really does save you a shitload of time.
Someone's just asked about
100 at all.
Monitor 100 different SEO problems. Don't you use Todd Spacey's tool for that? Or is that, am I wrong?
Project Supremacy. No, I use Project Supremacy for all my sites. Monitor me rankings. I use Google Analytics. SEO problems, technical problems, they all get spit out by Project Supremacy.
There you go, Project Supremacy, yeah. I don't personally use it. I do everything manually, but there we go. But yeah, no, I think most people tend to use that Project Supremacy. I've heard a lot of good shit about it.
I mean, it's brilliant for that, for one thing, but then there's loads of... I mean, you can actually monitor your rankings in there, but rankings to me is not something I actually bother about. I use my Google Analytics to tell us what traffic's coming, and then I look at where the traffic's coming from, and then... Because I could put a ranking in, I could be on page 1 for any keyword, but if there's no traffic coming from that keyword, then it's a bit bloody pointless. So that's why I use Google Analytics.
Right, are we done, guys? Is there any more questions anyone's got to ask? Or are we all good? And I will we'll see everyone next week. Oh, next Wednesday, 5 o'clock.
Wednesday.
Me, Matt, and
DMT.
G. Yes, DMT and Magic Page plugin. And we've penciled in, just 1 second, let me just have a look at my diary. Where's my diary now? There it is, 1 second. Calendar.
Make sure you got notepads ready for DMT.
Well, we've got the 3rd of June. I nailed Matt down because it took me so long to get him, right? So, 3rd of June, we're doing a webinar, DMT and MPP. Which is site build. It's going to be a walkthrough and all that. And then I also had a gap in July, on the 8th of July. So I also got Matt for DMT, MPP, and Lead Simplify. So we're going to have all of them. So over the next 6 weeks or whatever it is, we're going to have Matt on twice, and we're going to do everything from start to finish. Matt's still figuring out Magic Page plugin, so we've not set him up with Lead Simplifiers yet. Once that's done, we're then going to look at that, and we're going to feedback exactly how he's built. Me and him are going to build him together, as far as I'm aware, but it's really hard to nail him down. So I got him in on both. So that should be there should be loads of cool stuff we can learn from that. He really does seem to know his stuff. Cheers, Craig. I'm sorry, I'm clicking on it. Boom. You all right, Johnny? I'm just flicking on people's... Everyone's coming from different places. What is your exit strategy for the site? Do you know what? Watch the new training course I'm doing at the minute. Type in hybrid lead generation business model. Type that in YouTube. Start on video 1. I've not got to the exit strategy yet, but if you check it out, 2nd or 3rd video, I'll give you a list of all the videos that's coming. And it's free at the minute. You can get access to it for free at the minute. It's coming off YouTube soon once it's finished, so watch it while you can. But that's going to give you your exit strategy. That's going to tell you how to build, how to spread the business, how to grow the business, how to sell it to your lead buyers, how to rank it. It's got on-page, off-page SEO. It tells you how to get your GMBs. There's a few tricks in there for GMBs. And anyone who knows me knows I'm not super into all the detail and all the crap, so I'm not doing web ones where I'm going to sit there and show you, do this, then do this, now do this. That's just not how I do things. But it gives you the top-down view of exactly what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. Because there's tons of videos that show you how to install WordPress and crap like that. So I don't go into that sort of thing. But watch that. It'll really, really help you. And it does. The last 2 videos is outsourcing you, which is going to be able to outsource yourself. Because if you own a business and you are the business, then you're kind of screwed. You can't sell it. So what you need to do before you even look at getting rid of it is you need to outsource yourself. You need to split what you do into 2 or 3 different categories, so not one person knows everything. And then you outsource it to 2 or 3 cheap VAs, and you're no longer needed. And then you can either sell or just let it run itself. And then rinse and repeat. It's a super simple process. Nice one, guys. Right, I don't see any more questions. Thank you all for coming. We'll see you again next Thursday. Please make sure on Wednesday. If anyone's already opted in for my webinars, then I've deleted everybody off the webinar list and just restarting again, because recently we got about 3 or 4 people saying that we didn't have the right to mail them. So I thought, you know what, I'll mail everybody every week. So, but I hope you see you all there on Wednesday. Cheers very much.
All right, thanks, guys.
See you later, guys.
Have fun in Manchester.
Cheers. Yeah, when you come up.